And I'm back. Didn't miss a beat. We did not miss a beat here at the Basement Chronicles. I'm opening paint right now, but Megan's on her way back down so that we can get on with our business. This is that coffee table from last week. I hope everybody is just having the best day ever. Excuse me while I figure out how to open my cans. So yeah, back from California, we had an awesome trip. It was great. We did our layers and textures retreat, and it was so much fun. I was there with my friend Mara and Jane, and we really had a blast. 30 incredible women who joined us for Friday night and Saturday all day long, and we just created and shared our hearts and looked at our projects and our creativity in a whole different way. We broke through some boundaries, and we also, I think, let loose of a lot of fears and a lot of maybe thwarted perceptions of who we are and how we create. So, Megan is here.
Hi, hi.
Hey, so I was so happy to get back, and Megan, you'll be able to tell if I am within camera range.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'm going to make a smack. Well, beautiful. Excellent. So I think that once I start to work here, I'll just have you almost zoom in a little bit, if you're able to.
Yeah, we might have to move the whole thing.
Okay. Well, we'll check it out. So who do we have with us today? Who's here?
Danielle, Robin, Jane, Carol, Sandy, Denise, Lisa, Nancy. Lots of friends.
So, you know, we left this coffee table last week. We did this beautiful big decoupage queen paper on it. And then it was going to be what color I'm going to paint the outside. So, you know, I'm just like everybody. I'm drawn to the colors that I love. And while I would have loved to have painted this a beautiful bohemian blue or fusion homestead blue, I started thinking, like, maybe I just want to do it in a neutral color, but show you guys how you can add a little bit more interest to a neutral color. So I chose 3 neutrals. I have Cathedral Taupe, which is the darkest, and then I have a raw silk, which is a little bit lighter, and I have a Casement, which is my very favorite fusion white paint. So I have 3 variations here, and I thought, you know, instead of just straight up painting this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this with some Fresco and create a little bit of texture and kind of pounce this in a little bit, and then maybe we'll finish it off with either the Fusion Antiquing Glaze or Debbie's DIY Dark and Decrepit. I haven't decided yet. That's the way we roll, right?
Yes, I'm just really thinking about how we're going to actually show people what you're doing.
Okay, well, we can pull that in a little closer.
Are you ready to do that now? Or do you have more talking
so
to do
I
with
can,
the camera?
no, so I can actually, I'm going to pull this down a little bit like that, and we're going to come in close. I'm so happy. So like all you have to do is like spread, see?
No, I know.
Yeah.
We just usually...
Okay, so here we go. I am using Fusion Fresco. This is the very first texturizing medium that I learned to use. And
this is good for you?
sure, yep, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm going to be painting right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to be mixing. JR and I had a bad buy one time, and we literally spent $100 on boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of glassware that we thought... Oh yeah, that we thought. You haven't seen it around the basement?
I didn't know that you
Somehow
didn't
I had this idea that we were going to be creating these beautiful hummingbird feeders and big bird feeders.
Yeah.
No. It's like, what? How? We don't do that. But yeah, it was like I was so drawn to all that glassware. It is, Megan, it's piled everywhere here in the basement.
No, I know. I just didn't know you didn't mean to buy it.
That's one of those things that during our basement clean out this year, it's probably going to end up at the road. So if any of you have a love for glassware, watch for when we put that out our back door. So this is Fusion Fresco. I am mixing it on this beautiful glass plate.
Yeah.
We're gonna start using these. You know,
We
like
don't have heat in the basement, Lisa. Thanks for asking.
well, yes, we do actually.
Okay.
Yes, we do, Lisa.
Okay.
So
I'll let you come over here and you decide.
I am mixing. Well, not in the middle of. We have heat, but it's not like 70 degrees down here either.
No, it's basically warmer outside, actually.
These old buildings, they hold the heat. So I don't know if you can see this. I have created just a little thickening for this.
There you go.
Okay. And I don't want to over mix this. I really want the lumps. Chance thinks that I'm mixing something on a plate for him to eat. I wish you could see him. Okay, so I want those lumps. I think of it like brownie batter. You know, you don't want to over mix brownie batter. And then I just grabbed an assortment of older brushes here because my first coat down is really going to just be tapping this in.
Okay.
And then Chance's little footsteps up there. So as long as you can see me in the camera,
Yep.
I think you can.
It's not close up, but
You want to bring it in a little closer?
I mean, I just wonder if it's best for me to have it again on the...
No, I don't think so. I'm mostly going to be working right here.
Okay.
What's everybody working on this week? Do tell. I sent a text to our text groupies, and was awesome. I sent them some texts from California.
Yeah, someone just said your feet looked lovely in the ocean.
Oh my gosh, you know, that ocean was freezing cold, I want to tell you.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold, but it was lovely. I do love the ocean. Okay, I'm going to come over this side. So you can see I'm just tapping in and creating that first layer of texture. I'm making sure that I get up here, but what I'll do is when I'm done with this, I'm going to flip this upside down and make sure that I get all the underneath as well. I think that this is a good choice. Somebody last week mentioned Cathedral Taupe, and
Yes, they did. Hi, Christy.
And
Hi,
I think
Sandy. Hey, Donna.
a good choice. So really, instead of just straight up like flawless, beautiful finish on this, I really wanted to develop a little bit of texture. And that Fresco enables me to get that texture by pouncing it in with an old scrubby brush.
It's just hard to see the texture.
But yeah, California was awesome. But I was really glad to get home. It's always good to get home to your people, you know?
You know what they say, home is where the heart is, Mom.
Home is where the heart is. Thank you guys so much. We have had such great feedback about these old basement chronicles. I love it. It's been awesome.
Heather loves the color. Hey, Sandy. Sandy Ostromski's here.
Sandy, our original Sandy.
Yes.
How you doing?
This color is Cathedral Taupe,
This is
Christy.
Cathedral Taupe. Yep. So this is the darkest color, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to begin to blend in some of those lighter colors. And want to get a leg going here. But I just I've always done this, and I think I've shared this story before about when I did a custom piece for a client in Pittsburgh, and it was this huge armoire, and I literally stippled the entire thing. Remember that? Oh my gosh. That whole armoire was stippled with Fusion and Fresco.
The other Sandy's here too.
Sandy dear.
And now yet a third Sandy
Get
says,
out.
I know this has nothing to do with your project today, but I have that exact dish under the coffee table.
Which one? This one? Well, girls, I'm going to tell you what. We're going to start giving away a dish with every purchase here. Kind of like the old days when it would be in Ivory Snow, right?
Yeah. Now what, can you explain to Bev what Fresco is?
Yes, Fresco is a texturizing agent. It's kind of like a powdered, see this? It's a powdered medium.
Probably not.
That you can add.
There you nope, can't see down there. There you go.
It's a powdered medium that you can
I'm gonna prop
add
this up.
to you can add to paint. It's a fusion product, and you can make it as textury or not as you like. If you use a little bit of Fresco, it almost creates like a very chalky finish. I like to add a little bit of lumps, but it does help then to thicken up that paint and give it enough texture so that it'll hold like this pounciness. Okay.
Can you see here, Mom, just so you're aware of like what's on camera and what's not? Okay.
Yep.
Is it like salt wash?
I have never used salt wash, so I always hesitate to compare.
But that's also a texturizing.
It is a texturizing
additive,
medium,
right?
yes. So, but I don't want to like actually say, yes, it's just like salt wash.
Like you can't substitute one for the other necessarily.
Well, I don't know. I don't have experience with it. Can tell you that I have never ever used salt wash in my life.
And never will. She's vehemently opposed to salt wash.
That is not true. That is not true. It's just that I use what I love and what we have here in the shop. So,
can you use Fresco with stencils?
oh yes, you can. You sure can. Now, but keep this in
I
mind.
think that would be tricky.
It would be a little tricky, and here's why. When we're doing stenciling techniques, the idea is to use as little paint as possible and then build those layers.
Yes.
So I think you'd have to kind of play around with that. But I hope you guys can see this little bit of texture that's coming on here.
I don't think it should go any farther in.
No. I'm going to switch around. And you know, the beauty of doing something like this is you really don't have to have you don't have to be concerned about like perfection. You're giving it a little crusty, layered look, and it truly hides a multitude of flaws. It really does.
Hey, Wendy.
So I will probably, I'm probably going to give this a little bit of drying. And then I'll come in with another color. But as you can see, I'm no doubt I am not going to be able to finish this entire project here. This one is a little more complicated. Now, what are we going to use to finish the top of our piece? We're probably going to use, I'm going to lay a very thin coat of my Tough Coat down. And when I do that on my decoupage, I brush a very, very light, thin coat, and I do it quickly so that it doesn't absorb down into the paper super fast. And it decreases the amount of bubbling or wrinkling that could happen. So I'll do that a couple of times, and then because this is a coffee table, I'm probably going to come in with something a little more durable. So we'll probably use like a Spar water-based varnish over this. Did I say varnish? I think I said varnish. Varnish.
Is that is that our brand of varnish? Varnish?
Yes, we call it varnish.
Okay.
Yeah.
For copyright reasons, right?
Yeah, right? Oh gosh. But it's a water-based varnish. It's not the real stinky stuff. It's fast drying, but it's really gives a good hard finish. That's what we used on our counters at home when I did that. When Megan and I did that. Remember that when we filmed that whole Carrera marble?
I do indeed.
Faux finish on our counters.
Hey, Bev, don't be sorry. That's what we're here for, to answer questions.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Is this just one coat application of Fresco that is needed?
Well, I think that I know Megan, if you can see, like no, I'm going to be adding more over this, okay? Here's the thing, if we want to, if we want to tip it up so I can talk to you guys for a second.
Okay, bear with me. It's going to be bumpy for a sec.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Just know. How's that, Mom, look to you? Just watch. Is that good?
I think so. So listen, you guys, here's what I want to say. There are so many thousands of paint brands out there. So many different options. I use what I use. It's what we have here at the shop. It's what I have grown accustomed to and what I love to use. So I'm not trying every other paint brand. And there are many paint brands that will claim no prep, one step, one coat. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe a word of it. I never have. JR and I have been painting furniture for 30 years. No, 20 years. We've been painting furniture for 20 years. We have used every kind of paint possible. And you want to know what the very best result we get, whether it's been with chalk paint, whether it's been with milk paint, whether it's been with fusion, the very best result we get is when we put in the time on the front end to prep that piece of furniture. So, will it require one coat? I think it depends on the look that you like. Fresco is not added to change the opacity of the paint. It just is going to texturize it a little bit.
Well, and for that reason, you're not getting even coverage.
Exactly.
So you have to go back over
yeah,
it.
when I'm pouncing like this, you're seeing some of that wood still underneath there.
Pat and Robin love your outfit.
Oh, thank you. We just got some new earrings in at L&J Goods, and I'm so excited. A lot of stuff came in while we were gone. New decoupage papers, new earrings, new melt warmers. What else did we get up there? Oh, some really awesome spring stuff. We got these
new little pots.
We got a bunch of new English pots that came in that are adorable, you guys. You're not going to believe it. So, yeah, when the cat's away, things still go on here at L&J Goods.
Yeah, it seems like you're very shocked at that.
No, I'm not. I'm feeling a great sense of gratitude, and I did express that to you guys
Yes.
today. There is something about having this business and, that you guys allow me to get away and teach and do those kinds of things, and things are still running back here at home. I love that. I don't have to worry about a thing.
Mary Jo said she's had that paper in her cart since last week's live. She's definitely ordering it as soon as it's over. She has a table with a nasty leather top to put it on.
Oh, Mary Jo, good. Good. It's such a pretty paper, and I love the versatility of it. I really do. Okay, so let's do our next color here. on this beautiful gold dish.
Yes, I know, Wendy. I should have had a big sale while she was away, like I threatened.
Big sale on these dishes.
I was too busy.
It was a very busy weekend at the shop too, which was
Well,
awesome.
at least I'm
Megan.
glad she got her order a day earlier than the tracking.
Get out of here! How often does that happen?
And Patrice is here.
Hi, Patrice. Okay, so I am mixing. Now this is a little bit of a lighter coat. It'll come. And I'm mixing the Fresco into raw silk. Look at how thick that is. Oh gosh, it's so cool. I do a lot of cool stuff with Fresco. This one I even mixed a little bit thicker. See that? But I don't want to over mix it.
It looks like a vino bath.
A vino bath? What's that?
The colloidal oatmeal bath.
Oh, okay. And I'll pick some up on my brush. See? And then, let's see, where are we a little bit dry? Even if I'm not completely dry, I'm going to begin to add a little bit.
Patrice says it's so feminine.
It really is, isn't it? Now, you know something, when you look at this, here's what I love about this type of a technique is if you look at it from a distance, you think, well, it all looks one color. But it's the texture, and it just kind of draws you in to look up close, and it just shows so much interest. And then when we end up with, can you see it, guys?
Do you find that sanding is always a part of the prep?
Always. I can tell you without a doubt, everything that we touch a paintbrush to gets sanded.
I'm gonna grab the computer actually. Then I can add links when people are asking questions, and you can still see when you're in frame.
Yep. Hi. Absolutely. Prep is the biggest thing. So before we came on camera today, this got sanded. We went over the whole thing. Shirley and I tag teamed it, and we actually sanded this whole thing. It doesn't mean I sanded the finish completely off, but what I did is I scuff sand. If it has a particularly glossy finish, I will probably go a little bit harder with my sanding. And the trick is with this, man, use like an old brush. Just an old scruffy brush. And you can just add more and more layers, whatever you want. But I really love how this looks. And then we're going to give it a really ancient look when we're done with a glaze. So you can see, maybe you can, let me try to get up a little close here. I love that color. Yeah, that is a beautiful color. So let me get, okay. Get a little bit closer there. So this Fresco, this next layer of Fresco, I definitely mixed this a little bit thicker. But you can kind of play around with it, and you can do whatever looks good to you. And the cool thing is, you guys, with this is you can always add to it. You can add layer after layer after layer to get the look that you want.
Okay. Have you been answering these questions?
Well, I looked at a couple.
Just don't want to repeat anything. Paula asked what paper on top. Hold on, I'm going to give you a link.
Megan, you should probably switch that to purchase after inventory because I don't know how many we have up there.
Okay.
And I can get more. But, oh, I love the way this is looking. This is so cool, you guys. Yeah, this is one of those big, giant decoupage queen papers that I love so much. I use them in the back of buffets. I use them,
What's this one called? Is it Blue Fade?
I think it might be.
Blue and White Fade. Then, did you answer already about Fresco and milk paint?
I did not. Here's my experience with that. I have found that it doesn't work well. There's something in that Fresco that kind of smooths out the milk paint. But again, that was my milk paint that I was using. You might have something completely different.
Katie said, can she clarify she doesn't mean to bare wood? Maybe you were talking about something when I was gone.
I'm not sure. Go ahead and say it again, Katie. Ask us again.
So Cheryl, the problem with that is that I am HR. So
don't we all know?
it's like I have a split screen meeting with myself.
We all know, sorry for the big dip. We all know Megan is the head of HR.
Yeah, I like this. You can put a user in timeout.
We have no users.
Everyone beware.
Never.
Beware.
Never give that to somebody that's head of HR.
Cheryl said, Megan, do you have your appointment with HR to discuss your annual review and potential step increase? Yes, I have invited everyone to the meeting, and I will be giving my presentation and daring them to argue with me. Christy said, when paint companies say you don't have to sand, you want to believe them.
You do want to, right, Christy? But no.
No, there are checks and balances at EJG. Oh, yes, there are.
Right. Like Megan, when you say to me, Mom, really? Is that any of your business? And I was like, yes, it's exactly my business.
No, it's not all her. I strongly disagree.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, she doesn't need to have her grubby little fingers in every little thing, or she's gonna get worn out.
Then there's no checks and balances.
I need her to preserve. Yes, there is. Like when I say, please check to make sure you take this decoupage paper out of inventory so I can balance the inventory and I don't have to refund someone.
Oh gosh.
I check people on the regular is basically what I'm saying. To maintain balance.
You do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I hope you can see this texture because it is stunningly pretty.
This would be a surprise to probably no one here, but one of my idols, and if you call me, the picture that will come up for me is Judge Judy.
Megan.
Sternly wagging her finger. That's the tone I like to set.
I am mixing now. I have some white. Casement.
Cheryl said when they say mother is always right, they mean your mother.
Seriously,
Okay.
She is like my mother. Well, Megan, that's embarrassing. I did fine.
Okay, Katie did clarify. P.S. Or could you please clarify that when discussing sanding, that you do not mean to sand to bare wood?
Yes, of course. So, what I mean is that you don't have to, you can scuff sand, okay? Scuff sanding means, actually, let me.
Cheryl said Judge Judy terrifies me. Exactly. Lisa said, here we go again. That was my conversation with my Megan this morning. Mother, I'm a grown woman. You don't need to know everything. Yes, I do. You live in my house. Oh, my kids don't even live in my house. My older two are at college, and I still need to know everything.
Okay. So what I've got here is, I'm going to show you. So this is what I mean by a scuff sanding. This is about a 220, okay? This is about a 220, and I'm literally just going over the surface and breaking up that varnish. Now,
Okay, so we've got the classic questions. There's some new people here.
wonderful, welcome.
So would you please explain who is Ellen J. Goods?
Sure.
They're like, I see a Lynn, I hear a Megan. Who's Ellen J. Goods?
Let me just finish answering this. That's about what I do right here. If this is a very, very glossy finish, after we have sanded and after we have cleaned it well with TSP, I will then do an Ultra Grip. Fusion Ultra Grip is a bonding agent. And if it's a super, super glossy finish or a laminate or something that is has a lot of gloss and not a lot of tube to it, I will definitely do a bonding agent. So this is the white.
Hey, Melissa.
Okay. Ellen J. Goods.
Yes, two different people asked.
When we decided that we wanted to take this show on the road, like legitimately on the road, and get that business license and all that, and not that I hadn't had a business license previous when I was in the doll business.
In front of HR.
Right. We needed to name the business, keeping in mind that we wanted it to be easy to find. We wanted it to be a name that could transition into anything, like no matter what we did. We wanted that name to be more about us, like JR and I, than what we did, right?
And a name that you're not going to be fighting with somebody else for a website for.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And so we decided L for Lynn, J for JR, and we then did just a little play on words, Ellen J. Goods. You can kind of tip that up. Sorry, guys. Okay. One thing we didn't get is our cement pairs to hold this in place.
Okay, well I can put paint on it.
No, we're good. I think we're good. So it's L. Think of this: L for Lynn, J for JR, Ellen J. Goods.
It's a little play on words, but she will answer to Ellen.
We kind of say we're the Brangelina of the
right.
of the DIY
well, this
decor world. That's the first time you've heard me say that?
Yes.
Oh my.
Shocking.
As I lighten up my color, I'm using less of that.
Cheryl's asking, bonding agent in the paint or as a primer?
As a primer. You guys, I'm going to have a lot of pouncing to do when I go off of my live. So I'm kind of scumbling this in because I want some of that color from underneath to really show. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. And again, pouncing. And doing this type of a finish.
Yeah.
And like I said, it might, from a distance, it might look like it's all one color, but when you're up close,
it doesn't.
It doesn't at all.
No, but it doesn't even from a distance here.
Oh, it doesn't? Good. But here's the thing, you're going to get up close and personal with a coffee table, right?
Hey, Cindy.
So what a great place to use this kind of a technique. And it's so pretty. I tried this once, Megan. I know you never liked it. It ended up going in the, I redid it, painted over it with black, and then threw it away again. The green, the famous green.
Puke.
Yeah, the famous green side table. That
The technique was cool.
the technique was very cool. My colors were way off. So I would encourage you that if this is a technique you want to try, first of all, practice. Start on something small, right?
You know what it looked like? Anybody familiar here
Megan.
from Nickelodeon days? It looked like it was slimed.
No,
That's what it looked like. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. Thank you.
Start with something small.
Start with something small and practice. I spent $150 on a class, and well, I did learn a wonderful technique. I did.
Yes, it was a really cool technique. It was just the colors were off.
But then I realized,
Yeah,
like, oh, I've been actually doing this on my own
Hello.
for a long time.
So you're saying that class wasn't worth the money?
No, it was enjoyable. I'm glad I did it. I always love learning from other artists. So did we answer the question? Yeah, Ellen J. Goods.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just say it. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is really pretty, you guys. So then after this dries, even I can come in and I can create even a little more highlight. So yeah, next we've got our next going to Disney World. We're
So exciting.
going to Georgia for another layers and textures, and then you know what? I'm just ready to be home. I'm just ready to be home.
Well, you will be.
Yeah, we are actually going to put our heads together. I did write some outlines for a private Facebook group that is going to explore different techniques with inlays, with IOD paint inlays. So you get to see some really cool ways to use them, both large and small ways, and also different ways to finish them. Oh, yeah, I've got like a 5-week curriculum all planned out.
Yay, well done.
Yeah, so watch for that. We'll be sending out an email. We'll also send out a text. So if you have not subscribed to our email, you'll want to do that. That also keeps you updated as far as those workshops go. And also, there's a really cute piece of mixed media art that you get when you sign up.
Okay, would Fresco be a good medium to stamp into? That's a very good question.
To stamp into, well, I
Not
think it's going to
necessarily.
depend on how much texture you have. Okay.
Or how much, like,
Or
you wouldn't necessarily want to put a word into it, probably.
It could be tough. Here, again, it depends on, like here, I've got some real bumpy ridges here. And so my stencil technique might not work the best. Stamp technique is going to be tough to get down into those, all that texture. However, if you want it to kind of skip over the top and really create a very old world kind of look, like very rustic, you could do that. You could. All I say is try and let us know how it goes.
Will you need to spray a top coat, or can you wax over Fresco finish?
You can, Fusion has a built-in top coat. So I do not need to add an additional top coat in order for this to be very durable and very hard once it cures.
However, it's cool to use wax over Fresco. 'Cause
I
it picks up on
love
a little-
using wax and glazes, and that is what I hope to do today, if we can get there. So I think I'm gonna, let me see. I'll come back in then with these other colors, and I'll blend and tap and blend a little bit more. to really make sure that I'm blended out. Gosh, I feel like you guys are just staring at a screen. Are we seeing it okay?
I mean, without me, bringing it up.
It does look pretty on the video. Thank you, Jane. How are things in Central New York, guys? Let's look at this a little closer. What I can do is I can pick up from any of these other colors that I have and scumble and pounce a little more in here.
Scumble.
Yeah.
That's a new word.
No, actually, it's been in the toll painting.
No,
it's
new to me, I
it's
should
new.
say. SCUMBL. Oh, so we can't wordle it.
No. So there it is. I'm literally working with a couple of different brushes. I'm picking up both of those colors and really blending, tapping, pouncing, scumbling, bumbling.
Scumbling.
Scumbling, bumbling. And
Now, what is the definition of scumble?
just what I'm doing right now.
I'm going to go ahead and just see
You
what
look that up. I bet you'll find a
dictionary.com has to
dictionary.
say.
Does anybody else know that word scumble? I bet you do. So the thing
Okay,
is,
are we ready? Sorry,
Yeah,
before
go
we
ahead.
move on.
let's
It's
go.
a verb and a noun.
Oh.
The verb is to modify
Okay.
a painting or color by applying a very thin coat of opaque paint to give it a softer or duller effect.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Modify a drawing with light shading in pencil or charcoal to give it a softer effect.
Mm-hmm.
As a noun, a thin opaque coat of paint or layer of shading applied to give a softer or duller effect.
Well, there you go. How
The
about
effect
that?
produced by Scumbling.
There you go.
Oh, late 17th century is a verb, perhaps a frequentative of the verb scum.
Oh. Like pond scum?
No, verb scum.
Oh, I don't know what
As
that
in
is.
to scum.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh, Barb says, I'm working on inlays right now, trying something I saw on IOD Facebook yesterday. I cut them up and I'm going to kind of scatter them about on this old, pine cabinet. So scared. LOL. No, seriously.
Wait a minute. Explain that again.
She's trying something she saw on IOD Facebook yesterday. She cut them up and she's going to kind of scatter them about on this old pine cabinet.
Fun.
She's scared.
Don't be scared. Let them fall where they may.
Bev says it definitely looks like an old OLDE world finish.
WORLDE.
No E on world.
It really does.
And Cheryl has heard stumble before.
Yeah.
I'm going to be using it as trying to
If
get
you're,
that into a sentence.
I think I heard it way back when I was an art major. Maybe.
Stumbling around at
I was
Rural
just
College.
Scumbling around. So what? There, we'll give us a bigger glance here. So
How does it look on that screen? Because on mine it's black.
It'll come back for a second. Hello. Are we there?
Still black for me. You know what you would push? Or...
Guys, can you see me still? Guys, can you see me still? It says I'm live. Picture went black. You have left us. Oh. Are we still black? Oh.
It's still live, it looks like.
It is.
I refreshed them. They can hear us, so no swearing. Julian said, funny, bigger glance gives us no glance.
Lights out. Okay, let's see what's happening. Oh, gracious sakes. Jamie and Zeb had the same issue yesterday. Fantastic. Well, I guess,
Do you want to close and come back in?
You can hear us.
Well, what good is that?
I know, right? Seriously.
When that happened with Jamie and Zeb, did it ever come back?
What happened?
So do you want me to start fresh one, or what would you like me to do?
Let me try something here, you guys. Yeah, we are dropping view. I know.